Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Undercover Radio, and this is our very special 20th anniversary broadcast. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I reminisce 20 years of pirate broadcasting. I'd like to interrupt this show for just a moment to celebrate 10 years of getting back on the air, 2003 to 2013. I'll be playing and reminiscing some of the things that have happened over the last 10 years. Hope you enjoy the show. This is Dr. Benway of Undercover Radio, pirate radio, broadcasting from the middle of nowhere. About my pirate radio career, and that brought back some memories. Many people that have been listening to my broadcasts in recent years believe I made my first broadcast on December 28th, 2002. In truth, I ran my first pirate broadcast when I was a kid, all the way back in 1976. I had gotten my hands on a Johnson Viking 2 through a neighbor and decided to see what I could do. I read the manual from top to bottom and followed the tune-up procedures precisely. My antenna was a long wire. I tossed it out the window and through the trees. I rigged a connection from my record player to the mic input on the Viking and cranked the mic gain all the way up. Within moments of playing the record, I could see the tubes in the Viking glowing a deep, bright red hue. In a matter of minutes, something popped and caught fire. My dad came running into the room, screaming, "What the hell have you done to my television set?" The room was filled with heavy, thick, acrid smoke that smelled like burning electronics. Finally, I ripped the plug out of the wall, and that was the end of my first broadcast, and the end of my pirate radio career for years to come. Pirate radio is in my blood. You know, it's hard to believe that it's been that long since I got on the air for the first time. And I've had a lot of situations where I've been on and off the air. And I took a big break in the about 1990 through 2003 when I returned it back to the air. And so it's been 10 years since I've returned to the air. So I guess it's been about 26 years now that I've been on the air since my very first broadcast. That's incredible, 26 years. But, got back in and haven't looked back. And I do hope you enjoy, or I hope you have a happy new year and enjoy this evening's program. I'm just going to play some clips, and starting with the 20th anniversary show, because that kind of gives a recap of what happened in the early days. And then I'll play some other clips to kind of recap the rest of the story. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Undercover Radio, and this is our very special 20th anniversary broadcast. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I reminisce 20 years of pirate broadcasting. contact us at undercoverradio@mail.com. That's undercoverradio@mail.com. I have a very special 20th anniversary QSL card that I'll be sending out for valid reception reports. And as always, I'll be sending a CD of this show. So be sure to get your reports in right away. I'll scratch that 20th anniversary, but I will send out a 10th anniversary QSL for returning to the airwaves. So if you'd like that 10th anniversary, 2003 to 2013, be happy to send you a QSL for that. And the 20th anniversary is no longer available. Well, I suppose I could make some exceptions. If you didn't get the 20th anniversary back when that was broadcast years ago, 5-6 years ago, I could also get you one of those, no problem. This is Dr. Benway of Undercover Radio. Please contact me at undercoverradio@gmail.com. Talking with my wife about my pirate radio career brought some amazing memories back. Some of the stories I'll be sharing with you tonight. It also motivated me to go digging around for some old tapes I remembered making back in the 80s. Sure enough, with a little bit of digging, I found some old pirate shows. My first official pirate shows back in 1986. Back then, I was known as Progressive Music Radio. It was kind of weird listening to those old tapes, you know, the dated music, the cheesy sound effects. But even so, it was a lot of fun. It brought back lots of memories. And I finally decided to share some of those shows with you. Over the last few weeks, some of you have heard those shows.
Welcome back to Progressive Music Radio. Yes, it's Halloween, and we're going to celebrate appropriately by featuring Black Sabbath this evening.
So now the mystery is revealed. The old PMR shows that I taped back in 1986 and 87, and something else I found in the tapes archives I had completely forgotten about. Old undercover radio shows from 1988. Warning, warning. The following program is unsuitable for pro-censorship audiences. If you're pro-censorship, turn that dial now before it's too late. You're listening to Undercover Radio, broadcasting from our hidden studios in the middle of nowhere. I only recall sending out 1 or 2 QSLs back in those days, but I still had a blast broadcasting. That is, until I was chased by the FCC, which led me to early retirement. But I guess the passage of time and the itch to broadcast brought me back in. And so Undercover Radio was reborn in 2003. All the stories I'm going to share with you tonight are my true experiences. Funny listening to the old PMR tapes. Back then I had an old cassette deck that I modified so I could vary the tape speed up and down. And listening back to the old tapes, it's amazing anybody could even hear what I was saying. Half the time I had the speed so high that I can't even figure out what I was saying. I'm not sure what I was thinking.
You're listening to Progressive Music Radio. We're broadcasting in the 41-meter shortwave band. This is the new sound of Progressive Music Radio. We're running about a 25-watt signal with a brand new transmitter to go along with our new sound. If you'd like a reception card like this, okay, stay tuned, and later I'll tell you how you can get that information. And as soon as I get this time warp, I'll try spinning a few records, and we'll see how that goes. Don't worry, though, the records will be played at normal speed. Sorry about that, but it didn't matter much anyway.
I'm Dr. Benway, and you're listening to Undercover Radio. This is our 20th anniversary broadcast special. Contact us at undercoverradio@mail.com. That's undercoverradio@mail.com. And we'll be happy to send you our special 20th anniversary floor cell, along with the CD of the show. Let me cue up some of the music from one of the PMR tapes back in 1986. Don't be shocked if you hear a lot of pops and crackles. Back then I was still using vinyl.
Streets are lined with camera crews. Everywhere he goes is news. Today is different. Today is not the same. Today I'll let the action take snapshot into the night. Snapshot into the light. I'm shooting into the light. 4 miles past the cavalcade moves on, driving into the sun. If I worked it out right, shoot all the guns. 2 miles to go, they're clearing the road. Thank you.
The needles are pinned and the equipment is red hot. You're listening to Undercover Radio, broadcasting from our hidden studios in the middle of nowhere. We are Pirate Radio's alternative music station. Thanks for tuning us in, and I hope you enjoy this evening's show. It's time for the DX Bulletin. Well, let's see. Back in September, we heard broadcasts from Radio Hope International on September 18th and the 22nd. We also heard back on the 15th, Radio Wolf International broadcast by Radio Animal. We'd also like to send special greetings out to Radio Beaver. They were broadcasting their first broadcast ever, coming through a little bit weak on single sideband, but they did the trip from Canada. Glad to hear you in there. The more the merrier. I made a comment just a few minutes ago about getting a CD player. Alright, I have to admit, I'm not 100% CD. I do have a turntable because there are some classics that you can never replace and you'll never find on CD. This is Undercover Radio, Pirate Radio, and we are broadcasting from our 1,000-watt mobile unit. Contact us at undercoverradio@mail.com. That's undercoverradio@mail.com. Or through postal mail at Box 293, Merlin, Ontario, Canada, N0P1W0. That's Box 293, Merlin, Ontario, Canada, N0P1W0. We're sending out a very special QSL this evening, a 20th anniversary Undercover Radio QSL. Believe it or not, I've been on the air for over 20 years. And tonight I've been playing some of the old tapes from Progressive Music Radio and some of the old Undercover Radio tapes. And I've been telling stories from my experiences from broadcasting back in the 80s. You were just listening to some old Undercover Radio from around 1988 through about 1990, when I decided to call it quits again for another 13 years. It's amazing how things have changed in 20 years. Back then, you had to have a lot of outboard analog gear to produce a show. You needed turntables, cassette decks, a CD player if you were an early adopter of the CD format. Everything had to be connected to a mixer, and then you probably had outboard gear like equalizers and compressors. And most likely you had a somewhat limited vinyl and cassette collection to choose from for your source music. I remember having a turntable, 3 cassette decks, one for source music, one which I heavily modified so I could vary the speed for my vocal effects, and one to record the program tape. I had outboard electro-harmonics equalizers and compressors, and I had some sort of old microphone I had scavenged from an old tape deck. QSLs and reception reports required a lot of patience. Lucky pirates had mail drops, while others like me depended on postings in Popcom or the Ace. Tuning a pirate broadcast was a very iffy proposition. You could go months without hearing a single broadcast. These days, all you need is a computer, a microphone, and some sound editing software. You probably have thousands, if not tens of thousands, of MP3s to choose from for your music. Thousands of songs are available right off the internet. The sound software probably has dozens of built-in digital effects, EQ, digital delay, compressors, pretty much anything you could possibly need in the digital domain. It's all virtual now. Within minutes of going on the air, you know how well you're being heard through postings on the FRN online and chat rooms. You get instant feedback, and everyone else can see the postings and tune you right in within moments of your going on the air. It's all instant gratification. Even the mobile unit I'm broadcasting from tonight has a broadband internet connection through the cell phone networks. I can check postings in real time while cruising down the highway. I would imagine future pirates will be experimenting with all kinds of digital transmission formats. Maybe some digital radio mondial. I know I like to experiment with different modes. I can remember a couple years ago when I did a series of shortwave FM broadcasts, which was very cool for those who could receive them. SSTV is becoming popular and easy. We'll probably see pirates experiment with all kinds of modes, maybe RIDI or some of those other digital modem-type formats on the air in the future. But one thing's for sure, I think good old AM will be around for a good long time. Easy to set up, easy to get a transmitter, and it sounds pretty good. And besides, it doesn't require any special equipment. Any old radio from 50 years ago can pick up a pirate transmission in AM. When the cell phone networks go down, the internet connections, even the phone lines, if they go down, you can still pull out an AM transmitter and broadcast. It's amazing, really. Technology invented over 100 years ago is still in wide use. But you still can't ignore the power of the internet. It's interesting to see how many people are surprised that internet hasn't killed pirate radio. I've talked to a lot of people who wonder why I don't just start broadcasting on Shoutcast or Live 365. The problem with internet broadcasting is there are rules. Just look at what the RIAA is already doing to internet broadcasting. The beautiful thing about pirate radio is that it frees you from the rules. You don't have to worry about copyrights or getting permission to use someone else's work in your own work. You just do it. For me, it allows me to have complete and total creative freedom. It allows me to broadcast whatever the hell I want without worrying about consequences. I feel like I have no limits or limitations, and that means a hell of a lot to me. I can just be creative. True, there's always the obvious risk of being caught, and I will never take pirate broadcasting for granted. I'll always be looking over my shoulder, worried about the next big bust. But really, that just adds to the excitement of broadcasting. Lately, I've seen a lot of talk about setting up some unused shortwave spectrum for hobby broadcasting. You register with the FCC, maybe pay a fee so that you can broadcast. And there are definitely those who would embrace a legit hobby band and be happy to be able to broadcast legally. But legal broadcasting is not for me. It kills my creative freedom and the ability to broadcast whatever I want without consequence. Pirate radio is in my blood, and I can only be happy broadcasting as a pirate. Let's be clear, commercial radio will never be free. Pirate radio is free speech. It's American as apple pie. I'm Dr. Benway, and you're listening to Undercover Radio, pirate radio broadcasting from the middle of nowhere. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Benway of Undercover Radio, and that was a recap of my 20th anniversary show back in probably around 2005. And Undercover Radio, after listening to that show, I guess was actually born about 14 years ago. But after a close call, I took a break, and as you may have heard in the stories, I didn't get back on until 2003. So this is the 10th anniversary of the return of Undercover Radio, and the rest, as they say, is history. Thanks for listening, everyone, and I hope you're receiving a pretty decent signal tonight, and I hope you hear a lot of pirates this evening. I'd like to wish everybody a happy new year and a great 2013. This is Dr. Benway, and you can reach me at undercoverradio@gmail.com. That's undercoverradio@gmail.com. So please do send me a text. And I do have a bunch of reports in the mailbox. Just did a quick check on it. Thank you, everyone, for checking in. And here's to another 10 years of broadcasting, maybe more. Who knows? Wow, it's hard to believe that I turned on a transmitter or did my first pirate broadcast back in 76. All the way back in 76. Man, unbelievable. But back then, I was just playing around. So, playing around with the, it's funny. There's no doubt the pirate radio is in my blood, because from day one, I knew what I had to do. Take over the airwaves. That's right. Dr. Benway taking over the airwaves. All I need is about 100 kilowatts. So, happy New Year, everybody. This is Dr. Benway celebrating 10 years of the return of Undercover Radio, 2003 to 2013. I think the first broadcast of the return was probably the 28th of 2012. So we're well into our 10th year of return. And the good thing is pirate radio is alive and well. It's amazing to hear so many pirates on the air. Like I said back in the show, I think you could go months without hearing a thing on the air. At least I did, and I'm sure many other people did as well. A pirate broadcast was a very rare thing. Not so much anymore. I think you can tune the radio just about any night of the week and hear something. And that's an amazing thing. It's great to see the free airwaves being exercised. Let's keep going. Good night, everybody. Happy New Year. And please send me an email at undercoverradio@gmail.com. That's undercoverradio@gmail.com. Good night.